Hey, what's up? Just something I want to talk about with the X-Men potentially entering the Marvel Universe, the MCU. Um, so there's this kind of debate, I guess, going on that's like, okay, so what about people with just regular people with powers versus mutants? Like, how do you do that? Because in the X-Men movies, it's always been everybody with powers is a mutant. And so how do you differentiate? And why are people scared of mutants and not scared of Captain America or whatever, you know? Um, and I think the difference is one of the main things I've heard is that, well, our child could be a mutant, and that kind of changes the game a little bit. But also, I think, uh, well, there's some people who think that they just should just make everybody a mutant because in Marvel lore, though, like there's a mutate and a mutant, and a mutate is somebody like Spider-Man who something specific happened to them for them to gain their powers, like Captain America, Spider-Man, pretty much everybody in the MCU right now. But a mutant has the X gene, and yeah, it's a different game because oh yeah, my kid could be a mutant and get powers or whatever, but it's a little different with that because yeah, that's the case. But I think one of the big things is we can look throughout human history, even recently, without getting. I don't even have to say it, but when one group um, stands up and says, "Hey, I'm a minority and I deserve attention," um, there are people who are used to the status quo that that is an affront to them. That is offensive to them because they think that that means they get less of the pie, and somebody else is going to take some of their slice of their pie. Um, and they're just there just that statement alone is offensive to them. Um, so you've got a mutant who not only that, like very, very small part of the population, but there are people who get powers that crazy things happen to and they turn into different things, like the Thing, for example. And he dealt with that when he first transformed a lot. And that was like a whole big deal with the Thing when he was created, is that he looks like a monster. Um, so that was the thing. But with a mutant, you've got the issue where they're also saying that this is the next step in evolution. And that is a whole different level when it comes to being offended because now I they want to wipe me out. They're telling me that I am old news, that I am no longer relevant, that I can't that that they're better than me. They think they're better than me. There's a whole lot of things that humanity just doesn't deal well with, and that is one of them. So that's I think that's a huge difference between a mutate and a mutant. Uh, that's weird. A mutant, because not only can my daughter, my child, suddenly get some powers when they go through puberty, suddenly, our status in the neighborhood isn't awesome anymore because now we've got somebody who has weird abilities and has no control. It could be anything. I mean, like it could be anything between. I mean, like they could transform. They could have the ability to play with fire. They could accidentally freeze somebody, or like Rogue, if they touch somebody, they could accidentally kill them. I mean, it's dangerous and it's scary. And of course, there's always going to be people that are saying that that they want your slice of the pie, or they want you to be gone. They don't want you to be here anymore. They want to take over. They want to steal from you. They want to take over. It's they want the world now. That everything's going to change, and you know that's scary to just the normal person, normie, I guess. But yeah, that's a huge difference. So yeah, I think that that right there, and that's always what the X-Men has been about. They're fighting for their existence. Like they're always fighting for their reason to live because the government is always trying to come up with a cure, and that's attractive to some. But you know, there are people like Magneto that do think that they're superior. I mean, they're called Homo superior. So that's a thing that is very offensive to some folks. And you know, there's always the element of the government trying to control the mutant population, because you know, like you've seen in the X-Men movies, it's like what's to stop somebody from robbing a bank and just walking through the walls and taking what they want. You know, that we've got to regulate them like firearms or something like that. It touches a nerve in a different way than just like Captain America. They're like, oh, this guy's got powers and he's fighting for us. Um, and I can't remember who it was, but somebody did a basically did the equation to show that mutants were like 0.0001% of the population. So it's a very small part of the population, but you know, they're with these groups in the comics that are, you know, like the Anti-Mutant League and all these mutant haters, which we might start to see in Spider-Man, the new Spider-Man movie, with there are rumors that Tremel Tillman's character is one of these characters that they're kind of like playing coy with his name Bill, that he may be like William Stryker or something like that. So we'll see. It's going to be fun. It's getting interesting out there in the MCU, especially if Sadie Sink is playing Jean Grey. If you've got any questions or comments, just leave those down in the comment section below. And yeah, I'd love to answer any questions or just get the discussion going. So yeah, appreciate you. Thanks for watching. And don't forget, we do a live show on Thursdays on YouTube. Just look up Broken Pictures on YouTube. And I'll see you later.